Autobots, transform!
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another one of George's Reviews. I am the 80s Transformer fan, and thank you for joining me today. Today, I'm going to review Master of the Universe Vintage Giant Figure He-Man. This figure, and you know, all my toys have a story. And you know, that's my tag, my slogan now. Every toy has a story. So, the story behind these guys, when they first released these guys on Mattel Collector. Mattel Collector was a special online site by Mattel where you pretty much had to be a member, and well, you didn't have to be a member, but it helped to be a member, and you got access to exclusive toys that weren't available at retail. And they came out with this giant figure. I'm gonna try to hurry up and get through this. And they retail for $75 when they first released these guys, plus shipping. So and I never got around to give. I really wanted one He-Man and Skeletor because I gave up my vintage collection in favor of the classics because I didn't want to collect the two lines parallel and have pretty much two the same thing. Anyway. But I wanted a couple of these guys to harken back to that vintage body. And for $75, I was like, no. So a couple years went by, and on their website, they dropped it down to $55. So I got He-Man and Skeletor when it fell down to $55. So right around $120 shipped, I got to two figures for the price, basically a one figure ship. Last year, this past Christmas 2018, somebody put on social media that GameStop had these guys for $35, and I called my local GameStop. I found one, put it on hold, and I went and got this from GameStop for $35. And on here, Mattel was selling these guys on Walmart.com for like $19, but He-Man was always sold out. But I did get another Stratos, cause I think they released like 5-6 figures. Initially they released Zodak, Man-at-Arms, Stratos, Beastman, He-Man, Skeletor. So that's 6 guys. They released 6 guys. And I wanted to get all 6, but I didn't want to pay that $55, $75, so I had 2 and I was cool with it. But anyway, they put them on eBay. You could have got them off eBay a couple years ago when Mattel Collector went under, because the whole Mattel Collector thing folded after the toy guru Scott Nylick left. And but anyway, I got all the guys, and I have duplicate guys of everybody except for Skeletor. I could never find a Skeletor at a decent price. Then what they did, the remaining stock they dumped on BigBadToyStore.com. So these guys are up for pre-order on BigBadToyStore.com with inflated prices again. Some of them are a little bit lower, but I think like Skeletor and He-Man are still like inflated on there. But now you can get the Giants coming soon, very soon. I'm thinking like they say first quarter, which is like anytime now, on BigBadToyStore.com. It is the vintage style packaging with the red rock burst in the background. I'm showing you He-Man in the box has his accessories down there in the little baggie in between his legs, just like the vintage figure. If you turn it over, it's the original artwork from the card back, or the original sales anyway. They used the original sales to reprint this. Some of the guys they didn't have available, but then were later available on some of the other ones. I'll get to that. I'll show you those too. But this is the original artwork reprinted from the original sales onto the back of this package. So it's basically vintage, except for where I think they put Battle Cat wasn't in there. I think Zodak was in there. They made, because they couldn't find a couple of guys at first, but then later they got them or recreated it later. But that is the back of the packaging. I'm going to get this giant He-Man open. In an attempt to preserve some of the packaging, I slid it down the side, so I got most of the packaging if I want to slide them back inside. But I have another one, so I probably won't. Here he is out of the packaging. He has a little paper tie, zip tied around his waist. And these were never initially meant to retail in stores, but they wanted to add GameStop on the shelf for GameStop. And I saw him on GameStop a lot before he went on sale. And right when he went on sale, he had like completely disappeared. And I had to call around. Once somebody put the alert out on social media, I mean, it's like everybody running around trying to get these things. Even people who don't collect. Because you can see the appeal of it, the novelty of it, having a giant vintage He-Man just sitting on your shelf. And he's supposed to be 12 inches. I don't know if he's 12 inches like this or if the figure was actually standing up straight, but he's supposed to be 12 inches tall. Here he is out of the packaging, and he stands up pretty well. I think I probably could have got this in if I swung around with the camera without here are his accessories, and here is He-Man, and he retains the power punch feature. It's a little slow. It must be for safety reasons, because I can see Skeletor ducking that. But, yeah, He-Man, you missed me. Yeah, you missed again. But that is a power punch. It is still in there. Maybe it'll warm up a little bit. And the power slap. So yeah, that's in there. He's wearing the chest harness, and you can feel he's very hollowed out. You can feel it. But it's still cool. The little legs function. Okay, so what I did, I swung around to get more up close and personal with this guy, more comfortable review that I'm used to doing. And they tried to mimic the vintage head on this, but now Mattel is fishing around with the idea of bringing these guys back and making yet another He-Man with an even more vintage looking head, a better head. And this one, I mean, when you first look at it, it looks like the vintage figure, but if you know the vintage figure, like I know the vintage figure, and like most fans know, they could have done a lot better with it. So they're attempting to do better so we could get these guys getting, not from Super 7, at, was it PowerCon, the Mattel booth actually had these guys. And I hope they bring these guys on, but not at 75 bucks. So anyway, moving on to toy review. Let's check his articulation, which is next to none. His head 360s. Just like the vintage figure, his arm will rotate. He has nothing at the elbow or wrist, just like the vintage figure, and you can move the legs. Just like the, or mostly like the vintage figure. And he has some little notches in here, unlike the vintage figure, that help prevent him from ever sagging and falling over and lock in place and just stand better than a vintage figure, which is very, very cool. And inside the waist is like a nylon bungee or nylon over the bungee to make it more durable and last longer in there. Okay, taking a look at He-Man, he has the looks like the exact same vintage body, blown up, all the muscles, the detail, the unpainted gauntlets, which I probably will paint. I can't stand that. I couldn't stand it as a kid. The first thing I did was painted the gauntlets as a kid. Same leg detail, same detailing in the loincloth. Well, it looks to be the same. It's probably actually a little bit different. He has the metal belt on. How does he buckle that thing? I will never know. And the armor, I believe, is removable. Probably be a pain putting it back on. But I'm going to try to, it's a pain getting it off. It's not really giving. But I know it's removable, yep. Try to get it off. Take a look at it. And most kids, I never took mine off as a kid. Most kids had it off, and when you went to play with those guys, they were missing the armor. Like, where's Beastman's armor? I don't know. Like, oh God, sucks to play with you. But here is this arm. It's like sticking to his back. You can remove the armor and have it just tossed to the side like an old figure, how they actually look as soon as people lost the armor. And man, it's a huge discrepancy in between his face skin tone and his body skin tone. He has the Hulk Hogan tan below the neck. Now I have 5.5 as seen on TV, cartoon accurate He-Man, but I don't know where it's at to bring out a comparison. And so I'm going to bring out Holiday He-Man that I review around the same time. Funny thing, I can find this guy, but I can't find the vintage style figure that I want to find. And if I can move it back far enough to get them in frame, this is how they scale. And one more, here he is next to Star Wars 3 3/4 Luke Tatooine. And man, how times have changed. Get to He-Man's weapons. He comes with his vintage style weaponry. And this little baggie. Slide them out in there jumbo. It is so sweet to get these things so big because I remember them so well from my childhood. And even I actually had the 5.5 as an adult as well. Sounds hollowed out, feels hollowed out. Feels nice, sturdy plastic. Take the power sword and get it in his hand. Oh man, it fits nice and snugly into He-Man's hand. Very, very cool. Get him swinging that. And again, yeah, that could snap back a little bit better. And I'm sure it's safety reasons, but it's cool that it's in there. And take this out of his hand. Come to his axe, which I don't think he ever wielded on the cartoon. And go with that. And here is his shield. Has a little bit of die cast in there. I guess it's riveted shut. Very faithful to the vintage one. If I can get it on his hand and on his wrist. He-Man, He-Man, He-Man. And just hearing them making more, or could possibly make more, is even more awesome if we can get them at a decent price. Because $75 a whop for this thing. I mean, if you're just gonna get one and duck out, but if you're trying to collect them all at just under $100 a piece, and they were charging shipping. And online, when Mattel was selling these guys online, they were anywhere between $19.99 and $32 free shipping off of Walmart.com, off eBay. It said sold and shipped by Matty Collector on both, and I bought a few to fill up my collection. Okay, I pulled it up real quick. This figure on pre-order from Big Bad is $89.99. It's $90 plus shipping. You're talking about $100, and I don't think that it's worth $100. If you're gonna get one and done, but you're gonna try to collect all these guys, it's like no way. I didn't want to pay $75 for it. Now, you know, I guess Big Bad's putting their little tax on it. And they got all the leftover stock from Matty Collector that they had opened up the vault and all of that. Now all that stuff is dumped on Big Bad. And yeah, and I pulled up some pricing on some of the other figures. Skeletor is at $80. So, I mean, they're just putting the price at what the hell they want, because they were all originally at the same price. Pre-order for $79.99 Skeletor, $39.99 Men-at-Arms, and so on and so forth on the Beastman down to He-Man. They don't have Zodak. I know Zodak, I don't know if they made as many, and he sold out real fast. I only got one Zodak, and he was tough to get, and I literally bought the last one off of Walmart.com when Mattel had them up on that site. So they have 5 of the 6 figures on pre-order, just because He-Man and Skeletor are the most popular. They got those guys at the highest price, and I don't recommend it for this price. If you just want something to have in your collection and don't display, I recommend just grabbing Man-at-Arms, Stratos, and Beastman at the $40 and be done with it. Okay, to close this thing out, I just want to say this is an awesome piece of nostalgia and retroism, especially at this giant scale. Get them all in. This guy back out here one more time, but I do not recommend it for close to $100. I just don't. I mean, it is nice. Maybe if you're going to get one and done, I would do it. And man, if you're planning to open it, maybe one and done in the packaging just for your display, just to have that little piece of nostalgia and a new take on it, definitely. But at that price, he's not worth $100. And I really like the thing. I really do. I'm hoping they make more. If I get the axe in here. Remember, we should stuff the accessories in here. Yep, axe stuffed in there. But again, no way am I recommending this guy at $100. And you can get them. You can pre-order them right now on Big Bad if that's your thing. Let me know what you think. Will you get it? Are you planning on getting a new pre-order? Do you already have it? Did you pay the original maxed out prices? And I actually seen him sell on eBay after he was supposedly sold out on Matty Collector over $100. So let me know. This has been George, 80s Transformer fan. Thank you for watching my toy review, and I'll see you soon.